So I've used Roam Research for quite a while now, and fundamentally it's definitely impacted the way I consume and produce both knowledge and information. But really what I've learned more than that is that there is a subtle difference between just knowing how to use Roam and really understanding its intricacies to an extent that you're able to really benefit yourself in creating more ideas or producing more knowledge. And in this video, I thought that I'll share two things with you. One is a lesson and a mistake that I've made using Roam all this while. And the second is that I'll be making a series of videos of getting started with Roam, because a bunch of my friends actually reached out and said that, okay, this app is great. I want to use this app. I think that this app has the potential to really impact and positively influence the way I create, consume, and produce knowledge, but the learning curve is too high. So what I'm going to do in starting in this video and making a few subsequent videos is actually just taking you through my Roam workflow and actually building stuff on the fly so that we can actually see that the returns of Roam are not in the short term. They aren't immediate, but they're rather in the medium and the long term, which is where the beauty of Roam actually lies. So I request you to be a bit patient because yes, learning Roam has a bit of a higher curve, and I would say a much higher curve than Notion itself, but I think the payoff is very well worth it. So I thought that sure, let me just make a video explaining these little nuances and how we could just get started with Roam and what's the value that we could actually get out of this wonderful app, which I think is a bit underrated right now. Although there is a cult growing, it's called the Roam cult, and you have to be a Roman to be in a Roam cult and so on and so forth. But really, I think the app is not appreciated as much as it should be, because it can really change the way you take notes, you consume information, and you are able to connect dots in your knowledge bank to really come up with something meaningful. It's essentially the pinnacle, if not more, of how you can build a second brain, which is exactly what Tiago Forte and a bunch of other productivity gurus talk about. So let's get right to it. What's the first lesson that I've learned using Roam? Well, there's a difference between productivity apps and personal knowledge management apps. Productivity apps consist of those apps which essentially help you get stuff done. So Notion would be one example, and Evernote would be another, and all these to-do list apps, which include Todoist, things, and so on and so forth, help you get stuff done. Those are productivity apps and strictly productivity apps. The other kinds of apps are personal knowledge management apps. And you could fit in Evernote into that because Evernote's search feature is really good. But really, I think Roam is the classical personal knowledge management app because it allows you so much freedom to just take notes without having to worry about how those notes are actually organized at the back end. And the way Roam allows you to create more knowledge and the way Roam manages your knowledge is the beauty of Roam, which is not evident when you actually just open Roam and you're just staring at this blank page, but it's really evident in the medium to the long term, which is when you derive the maximum value out of Roam. So that was the one lesson that I've learned using Roam. The mistake that I've made using Roam is worrying too much about the structure and how things are organized at the back end. And I think that because all these productivity apps and even the way your computer is organized, we are essentially used to a hierarchy of systems. So let's say you have a folder, within that folder you have a subfolder, and so on and so forth. And that essentially gives us the peace of mind to look for things in a particular place and be confident of finding it at that particular place. It's like organizing your desk, organizing your home and your room in such a way that you know where your things are. But really, Roam just disregards that process entirely and allows you to tag notes, create pages on the fly, and not worry about the organization, which is taken care of at the back end. And the way it does that is that it tells you to only worry about what is relevant on a particular day, which is why Roam just starts off every single day with a blank note. Because what really matters at the end of the day is not whether everything in your home is organized, right? What really matters is whether you can get stuff done and execute the things that you're supposed to do on that very day so that you make some tangible progress. Because really the objective of productivity and the objective of being productive is not to just be productive, it's to actually get stuff done. So whether you're a creative individual who's focused on producing more articles, more content, or whether you're an entrepreneur who's focused on getting stuff done, Rome gives you the appropriate infrastructure which will help you do just that and not worry about where a particular file is, how it's being organized, whether you'll be able to find it at the right time, at the right place or not, and so on and so forth. And that was something that was really bothering me because having used Notion for quite a while, I was thinking if Rome would allow me the same freedom, but actually it doesn't. And it doesn't for a good reason, because it tells you that, hey, just focus on getting stuff done. Forget about your to-do apps, forget about your productivity apps. What you want to do today, just focus on that. And if it is something that might be referenced at a later stage, at a later date, then we'll come to that at a later date. Then trust me to have that delivered to you at that later date, but don't worry about it right now. So in that context, I wouldn't say that Rome is just a PKM app. Rather, it's a personal acknowledgement and a productivity app, because it essentially tries to replace all these to-do apps because it abstracts everything away and just makes you focus on what's relevant today and now. And that is, I believe, the beauty of Rome that I've just gotten to learn about. So yeah, this was just an introductory video about how to use Rome Research, what I've learned, mistakes that I've made using Rome Research, and going forward I'll be just focusing on that. So I'd really love to learn from you. Feel free to get in touch with me and offer any feedback or suggestions or advice that you might have on what exactly it is that you're looking for in Rome Research or other productivity apps or personal knowledge management apps. And I'd love to take a look into that and see how we all can learn and benefit from these wonderful creations that are being created by all the folks out there. Thank you.